It's a Saturday night, nothing will go wrong, but if it does, do I care?
Hi everybody, welcome back to the Guerilla Love Campaign. It's me, your host, Michelle. I'm so happy you guys chose to come back and join me for episode number 3. Really crazy week, couple of things, a lot of the things that I felt like I wanted to talk to you guys about. When I was looking at episode number 1 and episode number 2, you hear me talking a lot about a love army and, you know, making an army that's going to put love out into the world and change, you know, the consciousness of the world with love and everything. Well, I think that it's important that we talk about what makes a good love soldier, you know, what makes you capable of going out and sort of increasing the flow of love in the world. And I think it's maybe an old cliche, but it's cliche because it's true. The only way that you can love other people is you have to learn how to love yourself first. And for just about everyone I've ever known, that's a pretty tall order. It's okay to love your kids, it's okay to love your sister or your mom or all your friends, but it's almost like an unthinkable thing to ask somebody, you know, do you love yourself? Do you? Do you love yourself? Do you know what it means to love yourself? Do you know how it feels? I can say from experience in my own life that for a long time that was a big, like, no way, no effing way, no. I love everyone around me, but for a long time I didn't love myself. I didn't even like myself, not even a little bit. I didn't trust myself. I didn't believe in myself. And it showed a lot. Okay, so what we're going to work on today is loving yourself. And how do you do that? How do you get to a place where you can love other people or love yourself as much as you love other people? I thought we could go with, like, you know, maybe a specific example. So what I'm going to say today, your assignment today, is to get a sheet of paper and write down the names of people that you love, whether it's, you know, your mom or your dad or your sister, everybody. Just do it. Just do it. Grab a piece of paper and a pencil and write down 10 people. Just select 10 people. And when you put their name on the paper, leave some room and write down the reasons that you love that person. What do you love about that person? Why do you love your mom? Why do you love your best friend? What's so good about her? You know, like, what do you love about people? So here's my short list. I've only selected a few people because, like, it's a really long list for me. I love everybody, so that could take a long time to write it down. But I wrote down, I have 3 names here in front of me, and the first is my sister, Megan. And I love my sister so much. I think everybody who knows me knows that she and I have, like, a really cool relationship. And we've always been best friends. You know, we're not even 2 years apart, and we don't have any other siblings. It's always just been her and I. So I love my sister. Her name is Megan. And I wrote down the reasons that I love Megan. I wrote down hella funny, because she's hella funny. She's really cool. She has a really dirty sense of humor. She's unbelievably nurturing and loving. She loves babies and animals and fish and cuddly things. Like, she's just a lover. She's sort of, she makes loving look very easy. She's very forgiving, compassionate, wise, very wise. She doesn't think so, but she really is. And she's a hell of a good cook. I love that about her. And those are just some reasons. Like, we could do an entire episode on my sister and everybody that I'm about to list here, because I'm really good at making lists of reasons why I love people. So, the second person on the list is, of course, Farrah, my best friend for 20 years with Farrah, and I love her so much. She's just fabulous. And the number one thing that I love about Farrah that I wrote down, no bullshit. Capital N, capital B, no bullshit. It's what you see is what you get. She says what she means. She does what she says she's going to do. She doesn't hem-haw around. She's not passive-aggressive at all. She says something, that's what's up. Like Farrah, no bullshit. And she's crazy smart. She's extremely intelligent. She went through 7 years of college, lest we forget. And she's fabulous, really smart, very driven. I wrote down driven, very caring, obviously. She's a really caring person. She's driven to succeed, very supportive of me and everybody else too. And her laugh, I love Farrah's laugh. I think it's really good. I don't want to imitate it right now on camera because, like, might embarrass her, but it's a good laugh. And laughing with Farrah, that's probably the best thing that I'm good at in my life. That's the easiest thing. So those are the reasons that I love Farrah. Some of the reasons, because I could never list them all. And then I wrote down my friend Jenna, and Jenna's a friend of mine that I've known since we were in high school. Probably same amount of time, I'd say probably about 20 years. Love Jenna. She's hilarious. First thing I wrote down, hilarious, exuberant, and exuberant passion. Jenna's like a firecracker. We say Jenna's kind of like a Spinal Tap amp. She goes to 11. There's no 10. She goes to 11. She loves her life. She loves life. Very caring, very nurturing, animals and kids, animals and babies. She's a Cancer, so she's like a mother, you know. She's just born to be a mom. She's really great. She's dedicated to improving herself. She's very passionate. And I also wrote down she's glamorous and she loves drag queens just as much as I do. So these are all the reasons that I love, not all the reasons, but some of the reasons that I love Jenna. So there's just 3 people right there. And I encourage you to go as far as 10 or 20. Spend an entire afternoon or spend an entire day. Just write down the names of the people that you love and what you love about them. And then when you're done, or you feel like you don't want to do anymore, take the pencil. This is why I said pencil. Take the pencil and erase everybody's name. Just erase the names, and you're just left with the list of like love reasons. And I want you to look at yourself in the mirror and know that you just wrote down all the reasons that you love yourself too, because there's nothing that's true about anybody else that's not true about you also, including me. These things are true about me as well. I'm not a great cook, but maybe I could be if I ever tried. I don't know. It's not really my thing. But that's just a small example, a little real-time example of something that you could do to understand what it means to love yourself. You have to forgive yourself for things that you feel that you've done wrong, or that other people have blamed you for, or things that you wish that you could take back. We all have those. It's okay to forgive yourself for stuff like that. You don't have to carry shame. It's the lowest energy in the world is shame, and when you carry it for yourself, you're putting that on other people too. So you can't shame and hold yourself back, but love everybody else, and love him and her and him, and especially her. It doesn't really work that way. You have to be able to love yourself and forgive yourself in order to take the steps to loving and forgiving other people. And so I would like to take this moment to dedicate this episode to 2 people that I wanted to give a special little shout out to. I'm going to try to respect their privacy because I don't want to put their lives out there necessarily. But the first person that I dedicate today's episode to is my friend who we're just going to call, her Kay. Alright, so my friend Kay, I think she's watching. I hope she's watching. I know she watched the first 2 episodes, and I really hope she watches this one. She's a friend that I met through work, and in one of the previous episodes I had talked about how I have a tendency to sort of be given the opportunity to counsel people. People come to me a lot, and I talk, and I try to help. I'm trying to be helpful, which is why I counsel people, if you will, because I'm trying to help. And she has come, this is just a person that I met through work, and she over time has trusted me enough to sort of let me in on some details of her life and some of the things that she was going through with a relationship that was causing her a lot of stress and was causing a lot of pain on her heart. And I've been given the opportunity to sort of counsel her at times, and like I said in one of the previous episodes, sometimes I'm just sort of like a vessel. I don't even think my thoughts. I sort of hear my thoughts coming out of my mouth, and I don't know where they're coming from. Well, I know where they're coming from. But with this woman, I've had the opportunity to what I call like a divine appointment. I didn't even know she was going to show up, and I didn't know we were going to be talking that day. But she'll come into my work, and then there's just this outpouring of love, and I would like to dedicate this episode to her because when I speak with her, I feel myself being the highest version of myself that I should be. I feel like when I'm talking to her, I feel like the best I can be, if that makes sense. And we had a great interaction yesterday. I had told her about the Guerilla Love Campaign, and I gave her, I wrote everything down for her so she could take it and look it up on YouTube. And so then I was walking through the parking lot at my work yesterday, and I hear this voice yell, "Hey, beautiful!" And clearly they must be yelling at me, so I look, where's that voice coming from? And I look across the street, and she's waving at me and everything, so I went across the street to talk to her, and the love in her face, I just love her. I really love this woman. And we were talking on the sidewalk, and she was standing in the shade, and I just remember the feeling of like, wow, I really love this person. I could feel myself loving her, but at the same time, I was receiving love from her. I could feel her loving me too, and it was like this little cycle, and it was like, just this little whirlwind of like love. It sounds so kooky to say it, but it's true. Like, I could really feel it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. You know, like, it was so cool, and I almost wanted to tear up and everything. Well, as I turned away, I just felt totally uplifted after we talked, and I just love her so much, and I know she loves me too, and so I just felt really uplifted. When I was turning to walk away from her, I had an image in my head from that movie Up, you know, the house floating with all the balloons. I sort of felt like that. I could sort of feel, I was like, ooh, I felt like I was going to float away. And the wildest thing is, I turned the corner, because I was actually headed across the street. I was going to go get some coffee for myself and the people I work with, and I had this image in my head from that movie Up with the balloons. And as I turned the corner, I stopped dead in my tracks, because right in front of me, like maybe 20 feet down the sidewalk, was this huge bunch of hot pink balloons. Like, it just took my breath away. The moment I saw that, I was like, wow, whoa. I just sort of felt like that was the communication. I sort of felt like the love going up and coming down, you know. I was like, wow, those are balloons from God. That's really awesome. Wow. So anyway, that's the first person that I would like to dedicate today's episode to, is my friend Kay. And the second person that I would like to dedicate today's episode to is a friend whose name is Diego. And I don't want to say where he works, because I want to respect his privacy and everything. I don't really know this person at all. I don't really know him at all. But whenever I go to where he works, I am drawn to him like a magnet. And when I get in the line and I'm talking with him, there's this thing that goes back and forth with our eyes. And if you know me personally, you know that like I kind of have an issue with dead-on eye contact, talking to people like this. It kind of creeps me out sometimes when we do this, like no one's blinking and no one's looking away. It kind of creeps me out. It's even hard to kind of do it to just the black hole of the camera. It's like one large eye, but I do it. But when I see this kid, my heart blooms like a flower, and I just feel this passion, and all I want to do is talk to him. And I look in his eyes, and he does the same with me. And I know he wears contacts, or maybe he does. I can't believe that his eyes are always the same color. It seems like they change at times. I think he wears contacts. If not, no disrespect intended, his eyes are fabulous. Your eyes are fabulous, Diego. And so I feel what it is about him is there's this light that shines through, whether it's contacts or they're real or whatever it is. There's a light inside of him that truly shines out, and I can see it when I look at him. And there's other people who work at this store. I go in there, and they're all very nice, and they're all fabulous, but there's something about him that I'm just completely drawn to. So I would love to dedicate this episode to him, and I hope he's watching. I wrote down Guerilla Love Campaign. He said he really watches YouTube all the time, so hopefully he's watching and he sees this episode, because I just wanted to dedicate it to him and say thank you. It's very important what you do. You uplift me, and when I leave, it's the balloons. I walk out of the store, and I just feel completely uplifted, just from the interaction. And I've been in there before when he's not there, and it's just never the same. I never feel as awesome when I'm walking out. So that's today's episode, dedicated to Kay and Diego. And again, I want to encourage you guys to make your love yourself list. Find reasons that you love yourself. Look for the things that you love about other people, and then love the fact that those things are true about you as well. I hope this encouraged you guys a little bit. I hope it was fun. Thanks again. It's episode number 3. I hope you guys tune in next week for episode number 4. And again, you know, there's so many people that I didn't list. If I sat here and like had a list of every person, it would go on for days and days and days. The people I love and the reasons I love them could fill a book, and they probably will someday. So if I didn't give you a shout out today, please don't feel bad at all. You know I love you. Don't feel weird about it. You know, your name will get mentioned, so that's why you have to keep watching. It's like Romper Room. I kind of want to get one of those little mirrors, and I can say, I see Amber, I see Lindsay, and I see Becky, and I see Dakota, and hi, McKenna. You know, I kind of want to do something like that one of these days. Romper Room, remember that show. So anyway, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. And you have your assignment. Please make your lists. Find reasons to love yourself. And you don't have to look any farther than if you love other people. And if you really seriously in your life believe that there's no one out there who loves you, well, you can't say that anymore because I'm here and I do. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off this episode and say thanks for watching the Guerilla Love Campaign. I love you guys so much. And I used to want to be famous because I wanted the whole world to love me. But now I truly want to just be famous because I really just love the whole world. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
It's a Saturday night. Nothing will go wrong.